Robert B. Szebert, My Trials and Tribulations with OTD. My Trials and Tribulations with OTD, Robert B. Szebert.
I've got a problem, a big problem. I am a Toastmaster junkie. Why? Because I can't stop talking. And I blame it all on Toastmasters. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Timer. Before my affliction, I was your average, shy, non-talkative guy, happy to just stand back and observe, responding only in monosyllables and barely audible grunts. Yeah, sure, huh? But no, not now. I've been cursed by the devil with verbosity. I am a victim of my own tongue. I used to embrace the fear of public speaking. I could almost taste it. It was exquisite. But then, subtly and ominously, things started to change. It all started innocently enough. After I butchered a presentation at work, my boss pulled me aside and said, "Son, you have a serious problem." And then he paused and said just one word to me: Toastmasters. So I thought, why not? I'll give it a shot. What could possibly go wrong, right? Ha! My first Toastmaster meeting was a revelation. I was astounded that people had the audacity to stand up here and talk. I was very happy to just sit back and listen. But I could not postpone the inevitable forever. And I was finally forced to give my first speech. The dreaded icebreaker. Well, as you could imagine, it was an unmitigated disaster. I froze. I stuttered. I shook. My knees knocked. My heart pounded like a bongo drum. I had 51 ahs. I know, because they gleefully counted and rang a bell for every last one of them. Ding, 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 ding. Oh, it sounded like church bells on Liberation Day. I thought I was drowning up there, and I hung onto the lectern like it was a life preserver. I was so terrified, I even forgot my own name. It was all a blur, a nightmare. But then, slowly and almost imperceptibly, I started to overcome my fear. It was not very noticeable at first. My ah count went down. The sweat no longer poured out of me like Niagara Falls. I stopped coming up with excuses for delaying my speeches. For some bizarre reason, I started to look forward to the positive and constructive criticism, the encouraging looks, the rapt attention, the smiles, and the laughter. Oh, especially the laughter. It was intoxicating. I got hooked on that feeling. I was addicted. Well, I no longer avoided giving speeches. I demanded every opportunity to talk. I had the bug, the fever. I came down with that dreaded disease known in medical journals as OTD, Obsessive Toastmaster Disorder. Some of you know exactly what I'm talking about. And in layman's terms, it's better known as diarrhea of the mouth. Well, I whizzed by my first 10 manual speeches in just 1 month. I even infested other clubs so I could give more speeches until they all banned me. But despite them all, I became a marvelous speaker. Yet, I never won a speech contest. Why? It was that accursed red light. I was always disqualified for going overtime. Oh, I hated that evil, repugnant ruby red orb. There was never enough time. Even red traffic lights made me tremble. But did I let a red light stop me? No, I had the fever. I just had to talk. No venue was safe for my manifestations and my eloquence. I made any place my forum, and I was always on the lookout for new victims. I mean listeners. And where do you suppose is the best place to find a captive audience? Close, but better yet, the elevator. The elevator. People are trapped, at least for one floor. Now, I would not engage the first poor unfortunate soul that would wander into my clutches. No. I would wait until I had a good-sized crowd. And then I'd make my move. Very innocently at first, with a casual reference to the weather. All I needed was a smile, a nod, even a grunt, and I was off. I'd start by expounding on the El Nino effect and the collapse of the polar ice caps. Allow me to talk about the need for developing alternative energy, because green is good. And after I had them, I would ramp it up, and I would articulate the geopolitical turmoils of the Middle East and the Ukraine. Yeah. As my victims would scurry away to the designated floors, fresh blood would enter into my lair. I work on the 57th floor. I had plenty of opportunities. And as I grew bolder, I would prowl from elevator bank to elevator bank, hunting for new blood. But over time, they all learned to avoid me. So, I went incognito. My disguises were brilliant. And once again, they were mine, at least for a few more seconds, and seconds were all I needed to talk and talk and talk. Another favorite haunt of mine is the farmer's market. Oh, I love to hang around the free sample tables. And as people would gather, I would easily wax poetic about how succulent the dinosaur eggplums are, or what a marvelous season we're having for nectarines. And then there's organics. Oh, I could talk for hours about the health benefits of organics, how everything else is practically poison. All I needed was the smallest opening. And then they were mine, all mine. I even stopped driving to work so I could take the commuter train. A moving forum, entire trainload of captives. Oh, I'd love to rant and rail with my fellow commuters against a poor schmuck stuck in traffic as we would whiz by, laughing and waving, allowing me to talk about the benefits of public transportation. Yet even now, that crimson malevolence is staring at me again. Curse that evil eye on my OTD. Oh, I had so much more to say, but alas, I'm undone. My diatribe cut short. But have no fear. An elevator is near. Madam Toastmaster.